The Owl and the Arrogant Crow. In a deep green forest lived an old owl. He was known far and wide for his wisdom, and whenever animals faced troubles, they would seek his guidance. The owl rarely spoke, but when he did, his words carried weight and truth. In the same forest lived a young crow. Unlike the owl, the crow was loud and boastful. He took great pride in his shiny black feathers and sharp mind. Day after day he would boast to anyone who would listen about how clever he was. One bright morning, the crow flew up to the tall oak tree, where the old owl often sat in silence. With his chest puffed out, the crow said proudly, "Old owl, I am the smartest bird in the forest. I can outwit anyone and take food whenever I wish. None are cleverer than me." The owl slowly turned his head, and in his calm voice, asked, "Is that so? Tell me then, what makes you so clever?" The crow lifted his beak proudly. "I can snatch the juiciest fruits from the tallest trees. I can trick animals into leaving their food behind, and still no one can catch me. Surely that proves my cleverness." The owl blinked his wise old eyes and asked softly, "But do you ever stop to think about the consequences of your actions?" The crow let out a harsh laugh. "Why should I? I get what I want. That is all that matters." The owl sighed. "Pride and arrogance often blind us, young crow. Be careful, for arrogance can lead to danger." But the crow only cawed louder, unwilling to listen. Later that day, as the crow soared above the forest, he spotted a large piece of bread resting on a rock. His eyes gleamed with delight, and he quickly swooped down, grasping it tightly in his beak. Just as he was about to fly away, a sly fox stepped out from the bushes. "Ah, dear crow," the fox called sweetly, "I have heard of your magnificent voice. Surely no bird in this forest can sing as beautifully as you. Would you not bless me with a song?" The crow, flattered by the fox's praise, thought to himself, "If I sing, everyone will know of my talent." He puffed out his chest, opened his beak, and let out a loud caw. But the moment his beak opened, the bread tumbled to the ground. Quick as lightning, the fox snatched it up and ran away, leaving the crow embarrassed and hungry. Realizing he had been tricked, the crow felt a deep sense of shame. Remembering the owl's words, he flew back to the old oak tree. "You were right, owl," the crow admitted humbly. "Because of my arrogance, I lost my food. Today I learned that cleverness alone is not enough. One must also have wisdom." The owl's eyes gleamed kindly. "Wisdom, young crow, is not just about tricks or intelligence. It is about understanding the consequences of your actions and learning from your mistakes. A wise bird does not let pride guide him, but chooses humility instead." From that day on, the crow no longer boasted about his cleverness. He still used his wit, but he also used caution and thoughtfulness. The animals of the forest began to respect him not for his pride, but for his growth. And whenever the crow felt the urge to boast, he remembered the sly fox and the wise old owl's words. Moral: true wisdom is not in being clever, but in understanding the consequences of our actions, learning from our mistakes, and living with humility. If you like my story, please like, comment, and subscribe.